Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, my uncle steals our gas. Let's jump right in. I'm a 26-year-old female and my husband is a 26-year-old male. We've been married for a year now. I've known his family for a while now and we get along with most of his family. There is one family member who we've always had a rocky relationship with, and that's his entitled uncle. Him and his kids have always had a bit of an entitled attitude since I've known them, assuming that other people's stuff is theirs to use without asking. His wife, our aunt, is less of an entitled person, but still has her moments. Although their entitlement has been a bit annoying, we've just put up with it until now, since overall they are generally easy to get along with. That's where we get to this past week. Entitled uncle and his entitled son, who is 16, were the main perpetrators of entitlement in this story. We were vacationing at a lake this past week. We do a family vacation every year with a large part of my husband's side of the family, including this entitled dad and his entitled offspring. Our grandparents owned a jet ski and had let the kids in the family use it every year, as long as we took care of maintenance and gas for it. Last year, my mother and father-in-law decided it would be nice to buy 2 more jet skis since, surprise, surprise, entitled dad and offspring would not help take care of the jet ski that was shared and never helped pay for gas. It was made clear by my in-laws that the new jet skis would only be used by those who took care of them and only with the explicit permission from my in-laws. So the original jet ski breaks, no biggie. In-laws are fine with the kids using the new jet skis as long as whoever uses it pays for gas and asks each time they want to use it. To no surprise again, entitled dad insists that we let entitled son take his girlfriend out on the jet ski. The in-laws said yes once, so entitled son takes his girlfriend out on the new jet ski and there were no problems, or so we thought. Girlfriend of the entitled son has no boater's license, which is required in the state we live in, and entitled son had let his girlfriend drive the jet ski. The next day, we see entitled dad walking around our cabin as if he is looking for something. Me wanting to help. Hi, entitled dad, do you need help finding something? Yeah, we're looking for gas to fill the new jet skis. I had just rode the new jet skis that morning and knew that the tanks were not near empty, plus I knew that entitled dad had not paid for gas and planned to use ours. Well, I just rode those jet skis this morning. The gas tanks were still nearly full when we got back. They shouldn't be empty. Well, they are. Well, did you look inside the seat at the gas container? Entitled dad looked away from me now. Yeah, we did. My suspicions are raised right now. Entitled dad has never been the most trustworthy person, and I highly doubt he had asked my father-in-law either to use the jet skis or to take our fuel. After discussing the situation with my husband, we decided that telling my father-in-law would probably be for the best. The next thing I know, father-in-law is outside next to the dock berating entitled dad for having the nerve to use our property and steal our gas that he never helped pay for. My mother-in-law agrees it was wrong but wants to keep the peace since it involves her baby sister's family. It was very satisfying seeing entitled dad sulking the next morning, and now we hide the keys to the new jet skis so that entitled dad and entitled son cannot steal from my in-laws again. Story number 2. The goddess almost died because she felt entitled to my ADHD medication. My mother is the definition of entitled. She uses money and connections to avoid rules and laws, expects everyone to cater to her, and never worries about the consequences of her actions. Well, one day, her entitlement almost killed her. I had been prescribed Concerta for my ADHD, and while I was at school, my mother decided to try out my medication for herself because she's an idiot and doesn't think that consequences apply to her. She split my medicine in half and only took one side of it. This medicine has 2 sides to it for a reason. One side is basically pure amphetamines, and the other controls the release of said amphetamines to be absorbed over a span of hours, not minutes. She took the side with just the amphetamines after having her usual 3 cups of coffee first thing in the morning. Long story short, She ended up in the hospital with a dangerous heart arrhythmia and nearly died. Play stupid games. Oh, and the goddess thing? That's the nickname she wants my future children to call her. She doesn't like the word grandma. Story number 3. Entitled stranger at a campground expects me to have a shirt for her kid. So my boyfriend and I went camping this weekend at a campground, and we met this couple and their son, maybe 7 to 11 years old. I don't know, I'm bad at telling kids' ages. While we were setting up our tent, and they were setting up at the plot next to ours. We had some polite small talk, and we mentioned that we bought a tie-dye kit to tie-dye a couple t-shirts while we were there. It was really just a small, cheap tie-dye kit, and we both brought 2 shirts to make. The mother immediately got excited and said her son would love to tie-dye with us later that night. We were caught off guard, but I was sure there'd be some extra dye, and I didn't really care that much, so I said sure. A few hours of hiking and fishing go by, and then we're ready to go back and settle into our campsite, eat dinner, and start making our t-shirts. We round the corner towards camp, and it was as if this kid was waiting for us. He was right at the path and then sprinted back to his campsite. Once we got closer, his mother stomped over to the trail, and this is how the conversation went. "Where have you guys been? We've waited hours." We've been hiking, but he can come use it in a little bit once we set it up." I was totally caught off guard and turned off that she even approached me that way, but I blew it off again. Like, did this lady expect me to alter my plans all day to cater to her kid? We get back to our campsite and I'm about to start dinner, but this woman and her kid are just staring at us. So I decide to just get the dye ready so he can bring his stupid t-shirt over and leave us alone so we can eat in peace. I bring the dye out and they come over to our table empty-handed. Looks great. He's a small or a medium. What? I don't have anything for him to use. I thought you had your own t-shirt that you wanted to dye. No, you are the ones who brought the tie-dye kit. We waited all day for you to get back, and now you're saying you don't even have a t-shirt for him? I don't know what to tell you. We only have 4 t-shirts to make for ourselves. I can't believe you told my son that he could tie-dye and got his hopes up. He waited for you all day. Can he have one of yours? Absolutely not, I said while laughing. It's not funny. Don't laugh at me. At that point, I'm just like, whatever, lady, and we keep snickering at her until they storm back to their campsite, where she starts playing literal death metal music full blast. It's hilarious. This chick was insane, throwing a full-blown tantrum and glaring at us from afar. An hour or so later, the ranger comes over to our tent and said he got a report that we were drinking alcohol. We were drinking alcohol, but they typically don't care unless we're disturbing other campers, and we were just 2 people sitting and eating dinner quietly. I told him what happened and he thought it was hilarious, and I jokingly said that I'd like to make a counter report about Entitled Mother's music. He was like, "Hell yeah, I'll do that," and went over to her. She threw a fit when he told her to turn that crap down, and I heard her screaming about how we're partying and drinking, and how dare he confront her and not us. Eventually, her husband turned her music off while she was mid-screech. Then she sulked into her tent and never came back out, and the ranger came back over to our site for a beer after dark. We considered calling her poor husband over for a beer too, but decided not to poke the bear. Lol. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe. And make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.